1 2 testing 1 2 test test.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم. تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون. لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون. إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون. وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون. وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم. إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين. واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم 2 فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون. قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون. قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين. قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم. قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون. وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون. وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون. أتخذ من دونه آلهة يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغن عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون. إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين. إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميعا لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله وطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد ضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون صدق الله العلي العظيم. فاتحة.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد واسمع دعائي إذا دعوتك واسمع ندائي إذا ناديتك واقبل علي إذا ناجيتك فقد هربت إليك ووقفت بين يديك مستكينا لك متضرعا إليك راجيا لما لديك ثوابي وتعلم ما في نفسي وتخبر حاجتي وتعرف ضميري ولا يخفى عليك أمر منقلبي ومثواي وما أريد أن أبدي به من منطقي وأتفوه به من تلبتي وأرجوه لعاقبتي وقد جرت مقاديرك علي يا سيدي فيما يكون مني إلى آخر عمري من سريرتي وعلانيتي وبيدك لا بيد غيرك زيادتي ونقصي ونفعي وضري إلهي إن حرمتني فمن ذا الذي يرزقني وإن خذلتني فمن ذا الذي ينصرني إلهي أعوذ بك من غضبك وحلول سخطك إلهي إن كنت غير مستأهل لرحمتك فأنت أهل أن تجود علي بفضل سعتك إلهي كأني بنفسي واقفة بين يديك وقد أضلها حسن توكلي عليك فقلت ما أنت أهله وتغمدتني بعفوك إلهي إن عفوت فمن أولى منك بذلك وإن كان قد دان أجلي ولم يدنني منك عملي فقد جعلت الإقرار بذنبي إليك وسيلتي إلهي قد جرت على نفسي في النظر لها فلها الويل إن لم تغفر لها إلهي لم يزل برك علي أيام حياتي فلا تقطع برك عني في مماتي إلهي كيف آيس من حسن نظرك لي بعد مماتي وأنت لم تولني إلا الجميل في حياتي إلهي تول من أمر ما أنت أهله وأد علي بفضلك على مذنب قد غمره جهله إلهي قد سترت علي ذنوبا في الدنيا وأنا أحوج إلى سترها علي منك في الأخرى إلهي قد أحسنت إلي إذ لم تظهرها لأحد من عبادك الصالحين فلا تفضحني يوم القيامة على رؤوس الأشهاد إلهي جودك بسط عملي وعفوك أفضل من عملي إلهي فسرني بلقائك يوم تقضي فيه بين عبادك إلهي اعتذاري إليك اعتذار من لم يستغني عن قبول عذري فاقبل عذري يا أكرم من اعتذر إليه المسيئون إلهي لا ترد حاجتي ولا تخيب طمعي ولا تقطع منك رجائي وأملي إلهي لو أردت هواني لم تهدني ولو أردت فضيحتي لم تعافني إلهي ما أظنك تردني في حاجة قد أفنيت في عمري في طلبها منك إلهي فلك الحمد أبدا أبدا دائما سرمدا يزيد ولا يبيد كما تحب وترضى إلهي إن أخذتني بجرمي أخذتك بعفوك وإن أخذتني بذنوبي أخذتك بمغفرتك وإن أدخلتني النار علمت أهلها أني أحبك إلهي إن كان الثغر في جنب طاعتك عملي فقد كبر في جنب رجائك عملي إلهي كيف أنقلب من عندك بالخيبة محروما وقد كان حسن ظني بجودك أن تقلبني بالنجاة مرحوما إلهي وقد أفنيت عمري في شرة السهو عنك وأبليت شبابي في سكرة التباعد منك إلهي فلم أستيقظ أيام اغتراري بك وركوني إلى سبيل سخطك إلهي وأنا عبدك وابن عبدك قائم بين يديك متوسل بكرمك إليك إلهي أنا عبد أتنصل إليك مما كنت أواجهك به من قلة استحياي من نظرك وأطلب العفو منك إذ العفو نأت لكرمك إلهي لم يكن لي حول فانتقل بي عن معصيتك إلا في وقت أيكستني لمحبتك وكما أردت أن أكون كنت فشكرتك بإدخالي في كرمك ولتطهير قلبي من أوساخ الغفلة عنك إلهي انظر إلي نظر من ناديته فأجابك واستعملته بعونتك فأطاعك يا قريبا لا يبعد عن المغتر به ويا جوادا لا يبخل عمن رجا ثوابه إلهي هب لي قلبا يدني منك شوقه ولسانا يرفع إليك صدقه ونظرا يقربه منك حقه إلهي إن من تعرف بك غير مجهول ومن لذى بك غير مخذول ومن أقبلت عليه غير مملول إلهي إن من انتهج بك لمستنير وإن من اعتصم بك لمستجير وقد لذت بك يا إلهي فلا تخيب ظني من رحمتك ولا تحجبني عن رأفتك إلهي أقمني في أهل ولايتك وقام من رجا الزيادة من محبتك إلهي وألهمني والهم بذكرك إلى ذكرك وهمتي في روح نجاح أسمائك ومحل قدسك إلهي بك عليك إلا الحقتني بمحل أهل طاعتك والمثوى الصالح من مرضاتك فإني لا أقدر لنفسي دفعه ولا لأملك لها نفعه إلهي أنا عبدك الضعيف المذنب ومملوكك المنيب فلا تجعلني ممن صرفت عنه وجهك وحجبه سهوه عن عفوك إلهي هب لي كمال الانقطاع إليك وأنر أبصار قلوبنا بضياء نظرها إليك حتى تخرق أبصار القلوب حجب النور فتصل إلى معدن العظمة وتسير أرواحنا معلقة بإز قدسك. إلهي واجعلني ممن ناديته فأجابك ولاحظت فسعك لجلالك فناجيته سرا وعمل لك جهرا. إلهي لم أسلط على حسن ظني قنوط الأياس ولا انقطع رجائي من جميل كرمك. إلهي إن كانت الخطايا قد أسقطتني لديك فاصف عني بحسن توكلي عليك. إلهي إن حتتني الذنوب من مكارم لطفك فقد نبهني اليقين إلى كرم عطفك. إلهي إن أنامتني الغفلة عن الاستعداد للقائك فقد نبهتني المعرفة بكرم آلائك. إلهي إن دعاني إلى النار عظيم عقابك فقد دعاني إلى الجنة جزيل ثوابك. إلهي فلك أسأل وإليك أبتهل وأرغب وأسألك أن تصلي على محمد وآل محمد وتجعلني ممن يديم ذكرك ولا ينقض عهدك ولا يغفل عن شكرك ولا يستخف بأمرك. إلهي وألحقني بنور عزك الأبهاج فأكون لك عارفا وعن سواك منحرفا ومنك خائفا مراقبا يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. وصلى الله على محمد رسوله وآله الطاهرين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الفاتحة.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الغر الميامين، سيما بقية الله في الأرضين وحجته على الخلائق أجمعين، طاووس أهل الجنة ومهدي هذه الأمة صاحب العصر والزمان. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد، فداه أرواح العالمين. أما بعد، قال إمام الصادق عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام: رحم الله شيعتنا، خلقوا من فاضل طينتنا، يفرحون لفرحنا ويحزنون لحزننا. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Firstly, apologies for all the technical difficulties. As you can see, I'm not very well versed with new pieces of technology. I'd like to begin by welcoming you all to a bit of a new format of a Jumeraat. It's not normal. You see two people sitting on chairs in front of you on a Thursday night program. But thanks to Birmingham Abbasi Youth Network and Hussein's ARC, today inshallah will be more of a conversation. And before I move on, the audience also have the chance to interact, inshallah, by using Slido. So if you go onto Slido and you input hashtag Jumeraat, that's Jumerat, you have the ability to ask your questions, and inshallah, in this conversation, we will try and answer those questions. I started with a hadith from Imam Sadiq before I hand over to Sheikh, and before we start the conversation, if you don't mind, Sheikh. The hadith says that may Allah bless our Shi'as. They have been mixed with the clay of the Ahlul Bayt, and the water that has been used in creating them is the water of the wilayah of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi afdalus salatu wassalam. The water that has been used to mix them is the water of the wilayah of the Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wasalamu alayhim. Now that is what Imam Sadiq is telling us is what it means to be a Shia. Now, it was very easy for the people in that time because they had the Imam in front of them. They could see that the Imam is here, he's commanding us to do X, Y, Z. But for us, we do not have an Imam that we can see. It's very clear that it's sometimes lost on us as a community, as a nation, that our Imam is alive and is still here with us. But the true meaning of a Shia is that we are mixed with the love of the Ahlul Bayt. It is part of our very being. And so we want to have a discussion today about the Imam and how we can serve a hidden Imam. But in order to serve him, there needs to be a level of understanding about him. So I'll pass it on to you, Sheikh, that we go about our lives sometimes as if there is no Imam. Just because we can't see him, we don't have access to him, we sometimes ignore the fact that he is existing and he is alive. What would our duty be day to day to live as if the Imam is among us?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala ahlihi ahlullah. First of all, is to thank Almighty Allah for gracing us with this wonderful moment to have conversation on this very important topic. This is arguably one of the most important topic of discussion during the Ghaibatul Kubra, or the major occultation of our beloved Imam. Before I chip in to share what I feel and I think we should do, it's very important, brothers and sisters, those who are here with us and those joining online, to ask whatever you feel like asking when it comes to what we are having conversation about. Normally, we as human beings, we relate to what we see. And we relate to what we feel. When we don't have sense of something, it can be difficult for we as human beings to relate to it. Question of Mahdism or Mahdawiyya is not something unique to Shias. Because normally when we discuss this thing, we make it as if it is only a concept within the school of thought of Ahlul Bayt. So some, when they ask questions, they only hammer the Shias to say, this is your belief, we don't believe in it. But this is a universal principle. Most of the civilizations that we have across the globe, one way or the other, they have this concept of Mahdism. To begin with Muslims, there is not a single Muslim who does not believe that towards the end of this world, someone from the family of the Prophet will be sent and rise to ensure that justice prevails. The only difference between us is that Shias believe he's alive. And others, most of them, if not all of them, hold the view that he is yet to be born. But otherwise, we all believe in it. You see, the challenge, Monty, is that is how we look at the concept of Mahdism. There are two major ways of relating to an imam who is quote-unquote hidden, if you like. There are two ways. One way is a material way, physical way. The other way is spiritual way. What is the material or physical way of relating to Imam al-Zaman? Which most of us are like that. And it's not supposed to be like that. Some of us, although we do not come out openly and say it, but the way we relate to concept of Mahdism shows that. Imam is like a traveler. Someone, we are together, we interact, we spend time together. He happens to travel. So he's not there. We've got nothing much to do with him. We will only relate to him when he comes back from his trip. That's how, if not all of us, good number of us, relate to Imam al-Zaman. It's not here. We don't see him. So we are waiting. Hence, you realize good number of people, they always ask, what are the signs of the reappearance? They're excellent. There's nothing wrong, because Ahlul Bayt taught us of the signs. But that sort of way of relating to Mahdi, you remain in the queue. Oh no, some quote-unquote hold this view that Mahdi is like Jism. It's a physical body. And this physical body, we don't see it. So we are waiting for the time this physical body appears so we can relate to it. That's what they call Ittijahu Mahdi. It's a physical way of relating to the concept of Mahdism. The other way is what Ahlul Bayt invite us to reflect. And as I said, feel free if you have any question to ask. You see, the spiritual way of relating to the concept of Mahdism is by appreciating the whole concept of imamate. Imamate is not physical body. Imamate is a set of principles. You may not see Imam, but the principles are there. What are the principles of imamate? Amr bil ma'aruf and nahi anil munkar. Well, that's one. Two, protection and preservation of the deen of Islam. Imamate is a principle. And these principles are forever with us. So, to give you the chance to talk, what we do not know is the whereabouts of Imam. But Imam is around. He eats, he drinks, he is married, he has families. What we do not know is the whereabouts. Where exactly is he? But otherwise, Imam may be sitting next to you. So it's very, very important we start transforming ourselves from this notion that Imam al-Zaman is going to appear. If he doesn't appear, then I will not have any relationship with him. To start getting into Even you mentioned Imam Ja'far Sadiq. Only few handful had access to Imam physically. Others were living in another country. And they still loved Imam Ja'far Sadiq. Not all those who lived during the time of Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salam had access to see Imam with their naked eyes. Even Prophet, not all. Handful met him. The majority of the Muslims during the time of the Prophet did not see Prophet physically. So likewise, the same thing. Imam is around. Yeah.
But Sheikh, seeing is one thing.
Yeah.
Seeing is one thing.
Yeah.
At that time, and I'm a member of the audience just as much as anyone.
Yeah.
So the questions are coming through and we'll get to those.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in asking these questions. These are the questions that come to my mind. If any do come to your mind, please feel free to ask them and I'll put them through. But you mentioned that, okay, fine, the Imam is physically, he is with us, right? And it's that concept. And at the time of the Prophet, look at the famous example of Uwais al-Qarani. He never, as much as he tried,
Absolutely.
he never met the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right?
Yeah.
The question is, at that time, they were still able to understand that these teachings that are coming directly, right? If I now try and access the pure teachings of the Ahlul Bayt sallallahu wasallam alayhim, my first port of call is the scholars, right? But when I'm getting different answers from scholar to scholar, at that time, clear, Ali bin Yaqteen wanted to know, how do I do wudu? Straight, write a letter to Imam. I can't do that. So, yes, he might be with us, but how am I supposed to actually act upon that feeling of, okay, forget waiting, he's here. But what am I supposed to do in action?
So you mentioned two things. One is about getting different answers from the scholars. Which scholars are you talking about? People like me? We are not scholars. We are students. If you look at, to go to the next part, marjas, they don't differ much. Anyone who understands the concept of marja'iyah, they don't differ much really. Take the masail of 7-8 marja, bring here. You'll see the differences are something very minimal, extremely minimal. Today it's only we those either in the West or Africa or other places, we differ. And we are not mujtahideen. Most of us are not ulama rabbaniyin, God-fearing scholars. It's completely different from ulama. So that's to clear that. That's very, very important for me. Yeah? So marjas, they don't differ much. Who tells you they differ much? Read the Masail. You'll come across this. They don't differ much. The differences are just here and there, really. It's yes, we, the current new scholars, new generations of scholars. I try to do my ijtihad. The other person sitting somewhere in London wants to do his own ijtihad. That one sitting somewhere in America wants to do his own ijtihad. This one comes with the concept of love. This one comes with the concept of tawassul. That's where we differ. But otherwise, if you go back to our maraji, even tawassul, they don't differ. Simple thing as tawassul, they don't differ. So that's one. Number two, yes, those times at least they had at the back of their minds, he was alive sitting somewhere. So who said Imam Zaman is dead?
It's not about them being alive. It's about the access. So even though you don't see him.
Some never had access. They send only their ambassadors to them. Today, my ambassador is my marja, if you ask me as a person. And even apart from that, it's possible to meet Imam Zaman. This we need to make it very clear. It's not easy, but it's very possible. Someone may come forward and say, but there's this tradition that man idda al-mushahada fahuwa kadhabun muftar. Whoever claims to see Imam is a liar. I said, no. This hadith, read the context. It was about after the departure of the fourth deputy of Imam. Imam had how many deputies? 4. When the last one departed from this world, Imam mentioned this. So scholars, when they analyze this tradition, they said that mushahada is not mushahada. They said manidda al-niyaba. Because those 4, they used to have access to Imam like this, to Imam. So Imam is saying after the 4th, you cannot come and tell me you are the Safir after the 4th. Otherwise, there are people who have met Imam. There are so many people who have met Imam. When you read dua, the dua we recite every Friday, what's the name of the Samad? There's mention of Autad and Abdal. These are some of the people who are in connection with Imam. So it's my challenge, it's your challenge. If I want to take it to the next level, to try to meet Imam. But as I mentioned earlier on, the principles are there. Try to uphold the principles and see if you'll have a feeling of the presence of Imam or not.
There is a famous hadith, أفضل الأعمال انتظار الفرج. Right? What can you tell us? What would you say? I think, yes, it differs person to person, but there is a general gist of what it means to be awaiting, or intidhar al-faraj, to wait for relief almost, right? Number one, why is it called relief? Right? Number two, if we're supposed to be in this state of not waiting, as you said, but acknowledging that he is here, what does this hadith then mean?
Yeah, obviously, you've answered it, Habibi. Faraj, it doesn't mean reappearance, if you look at the Arabic terminology. Faraj simply means relief. We are in a tight corner. We are overwhelmed by injustice. So there's someone who's going to come to relieve us of the shackles of injustice we are going through. That's the meaning of Faraj, really. And you know, the thing is, Imam is ready. We are not ready. That's why Allah is not releasing Imam Zaman. The moment good number are ready, Allah, why will Allah keep him when Syrians are struggling, Turkish are struggling, Pakistanis are struggling, Africa are struggling, other places of the world are struggling? Daylight injustice is happening today. But where are the supporters? Where are the champions of justice? So for the relief to come, you also need to become an agent of relief.
And I want to pick up on that, Sheikh.
Yeah.
I know a question that I've had for a long time
is
you hear all these things about what happens when the Imam's going to reappear. يَمْلَأُ الْأَرْضَ قِسْطًا وَعَدْلًا كَمَا مُلِئَتْ ظُلْمًا وَجَوْرًا. He's going to fill the world with justice as it was filled with. What does that mean? Like, if I'm trying to paint a picture in my head, yes, one man, alhamdulillah, thank you. One man, through the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, divinely chosen. I understand, I get it. But to enact such change in the world over, what would that actually look like?
Possible. We see it today. You see, during COVID, the world was controlled within a twinkle of an eye. It's not a big deal. Just need a mindset. During COVID, everybody was following the rule of law. Airports were shut down completely, the entire world. So it's not a big deal, really. It's just people's mindset. That's why we need to be ready for that to happen. Otherwise, if during COVID, for example, government said shut down, and people of Birmingham, for example, said we are not going to go anywhere, they were going to get arrested and there will be chaos, isn't it? But everybody understood this is mayhem or this is dangerous. So we all succumbed to the calling. For how many months? The entire world. There was no flight. So this is possible. More than the word possible. You need to be ready, Habibi. I need to be ready. Once we are ready to support justice, why not? It will happen. It's not a big deal at all.
I think it brings to mind something that I heard a scholar say once, that, whatever you're doing, make your intention that you're doing it to prepare for the reappearance of the Imam, for when the Imam comes, right? And someone asked that, I'm studying my degree. I can't remember what it was, for example. I think it was some sort of engineering or some physics or something. So I'm studying this. How can what use is that going to be? He said, what do you think, the Imam's going to come and fight with swords? It's not going to be that way. Anything you do is going to be useful to the Imam, right? And I think when we think of what life is going to be like, or what the Imam is going to do when he reappears, we think back to all those series that we've watched about the time of the Prophet, and all of those. There's going to be men in turbans and swords, but I think it's not.
Imam definitely, he's an Imam of mercy, like the way Prophet alayhi salam is the Prophet of mercy. Imam is not coming to this world to chop people's heads. Instead, Imam is coming to ensure that there will be justice and peaceful coexistence. Because we often hear this when Imam comes, he's going to chop people's head. That has a meaning. We can elaborate on the commentary of that. But that's not what's going to happen. The way Prophet is rahmatan lil alameen, Imam Sahib al-Amr is going to be rahmatan lil alameen. So you need to say to yourself, you know what, I want to be part of promoting this justice. And then you start in your own small way to be part of that bigger picture of promoting justice of Imam. And you mentioned engineering. Each and every profession will be needed. Each one will be needed during the reappearance of Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman. Whatever you do, if you do it well to serve humanity, it is regarded as preparing for the reappearance of Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman. He will need doctors, he will need pharmacists, he will need everyone, really. Imam will need everyone. Today, look at our community. Typical example. This is a religious organization. Although there are people out there who are trying to say it's not a religious organization. You know, when they have their meeting, Dr. Yeah, they said it's not religious organization. But if it's not a religious organization, it's what? So if you look at the organization, it's a religious organization because each year is the Ashari. But it has different subcommittees. Some are medical related, some are social related. It has everything in it, isn't it? So that is how the system is going to be when Imam Zaman reappears.
I want to move on to some of the questions, please. One, the naibs of the Imam during the minor occultation, are not very well known to our community. Can you give us a few more details about how they helped the religion at that time?
Fantastic. That's a very, very important question. So Imam had 4 Nawab, 4 representatives, if you like, not at the same time. Each one of them served at a particular time. When his time was up, he departed from this world, the second one took over. Third one took over. And then the fourth one. When the fourth one departed from this world, the day he departed from this world, major occultation began. So now, question is here. How many years was the minor occultation? Because understanding the number of years will help us to understand their duties and responsibilities. Some said 69, and some said 70. So it's been 69, 70. Minor occultations. What were they doing? They were the contact between people and Imam. They were meeting Imam like this, Habibi, physically. And Imam, you have so many traditions from Imam Zaman. Even this dua iftitah is from Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman. So most of those were through those representatives of Imam. So Imam will teach them, he will inform them, and then they will inform the Ummah. So their role was teaching the religion, and number 2, protecting the religion. They were like agents of Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman. And today, really, if you look at the tradition of Imam Jafar Sadiq, Imam Jafar Sadiq beautifully mentioned, during the occultation, farji'u ila ruwati hadithina. Refer the matter to those who narrate our tradition. So in this day and age, if you ask me, unless if any one of us or those watching online have different opinion, those who explain and narrate the traditions of Ahlul Bayt are our maraji. Seriously, they are our maraji. So therefore, during major occultation, we refer the matter to those great scholars until the reappearance of our beloved Imam. And today you look at our maraji, they are protecting the deen, they are ensuring that the true teachings of Ahlul Bayt are reaching us. So that was the duties of the 4 Nawab of Imam Sahib al-Amr.
Following on from the Maraja,
Yeah.
there's a question here that the Maraja, may Allah grant them all long lives, inshallah, they do the research based on the Quran, the books that we have. Is there an element of them referring to the 12th Imam? Is that something we hear in stories, or is it a reality?
No, it's possible. Why am I saying it's possible? Obviously, I've not heard from any marja telling me that I met Imam. But the possibility is very high. Because I believe these maraji that we have, they are God-fearing. Seriously. At least those that I met. Even those that I've not met, I believe they are God-fearing. You sit next to them, it's unbelievable, really. I'm sure all those of us who had the opportunity to meet, say Sistani, for example. I know in most cases, when we think of Marja'iyya, many people think of the Khums. When we talk of, not Khums. Yes, so the possibility is very high that our Maraji, they meet Imam al-Zaman. And then the other thing, Munti, is that, yes, when it comes to the fatwas that our Maraji give, definitely they don't give it from their own whims, not from their own selfish interest. It is as a result of the Quran and the Sunnah, and they give it to you whatever they are able to come across. Yes, they are not masumin. They may make mistake, but currently during the Gaiba of Imam, we don't have the one which is closest to the truth.
It reminds me of your Jummah khutbah, Sheikh.
Yeah.
Can I eat fish with scales or no?
Yeah, Bismillah. Bismillah. Eat all.
A question here. So if it is true that one of the reasons that we cannot see the Imam is the veil being our sins. So I think that goes back to what you're mentioning, that we are not ready.
That's one of them, yeah.
Right? If that's true, then children, I think it is a cultural thing that we've grown up hearing, that children can see the angels, they can interact with beings that we can't interact with because of their infallibility. Is there anything that supports the theory that children are able to interact with the Imam? Whether or not they know it's him is a different story.
Could be possible. Maybe Imam also interacted with you, Habibi. That's why narration tells us, he sees us, recognizes us. But we see him, we do not recognize him. More than the word possible. Imam patted on your shoulder, maybe sometime. It's highly possible that some of the programs we have here, or wherever we've been, Imam was there. You understand? So yes, maybe Imam is with the children. I cannot categorically say yes because I've not seen it. But definitely it's possible that Imam might have met children. But then they're saying that children with angels, that one is not hadith or anything. It's just a concept that we have as people and as human beings. Yeah.
This question has come twice.
Yeah.
The same sort of question. So I wanna ask this one. That in our lives over here, we tend to very busy. We can hardly find 5-10 minutes here and there, right? As people who are already struggling to balance our time, how do we develop a relationship with the Imam such that he becomes a part of our lives?
Yeah. We need to make time, Monty. And I will practically discuss this, yeah? I mean, I've never known a time when people say things, they are not busy. At least I've been resident alim for more than 15 years now. So I've never seen people who say, no, now I have time. This world is going to get busier than this. Whether in the West or in Africa or in Middle East or Asia, it's going to get busy. But one thing we need to understand is that our faith is an integral part of our life. If we make it integral part, we'll make time. Someone met me yesterday, somewhere. And he said to me, I struggle to wake up for Fajr. What time do you wake up? Sometimes 10 o'clock. Don't you go to work? I work at home. So ask him a question. What if your boss tells you come 6 o'clock? He said, no, I wake up 5:30. No, seriously, he said to me. So ask him, but how? He said, because my boss, I will lose my job. So I said, the same thing, you need to make God priority sometimes. It's the level of our understanding, seriously. Life is going to be busy. You've just gotten your first child, isn't it? Life is going to be very busy. But you need to make this part and parcel of your time. Islam understands that your job may take chunk, most part of your hours. But Islam says what you cannot achieve all, you cannot miss all. Ahsantum, you need to make a plan. You need to try your level best. Because, the mindset of human being is that when you inspire it with something, you become that particular thing. It's too busy. I don't have time. It's too busy. I don't have time. That is the person you're going to become. But if you keep inspiring yourself, you know what? I'm going to make time to do some charity every week. I'm going to make time to learn some Quran. I'm going to make time to go to the mosque. Keep inspiring yourself. Wallah, you'll see it happening.
I think one of the biggest things, the theme of this whole discussion is the reconciliation between not being able to see something and yet fathoming its importance in our lives, right? And I think that is a recurring theme throughout Islam. If you look at, for example, the belief in God, we can't see God. So, but fathoming the importance of it is where we struggle. Do you have anything on the top of your head, guidance from the Ahlul Bayt, from the Quran, from the religion of Islam, that can lead us to strengthening our faith in the things that we can't see?
Your brain, you don't see it. Who complains about it? The whole belief in God is like that.
But what I'm saying is we don't fathom the importance of God. Okay, I believe in God, right? I believe in God, I believe He's there. But why is it then that some beliefs range to such a fear of God and such an understanding of God that you will not sin? But some beliefs are, okay, well, God is there, but I don't fathom the importance.
No, you see, it's between two states, hope and fear. If you tell me only hope, no fear, I totally disagree. What is fear? Discipline. So you've got rahmah, mercy, and then you've got that thing which haunts you. I don't want to make a mistake. It's like you going to uni, you're a university student. Okay, you do as you please. You pass, you fail, no problem. It loses the value. You've got a son or daughter. They study fine, they don't study, you don't care. You don't even instill in them to study. Don't worry. I'm so merciful, mom, so merciful, father. But there must be discipline. Because I know in this day and age, most of the people, they want to hear what they want to hear. So if I come and sit here and tell you know what, forget about fear and all this, it's neither here nor there. Love, love, love. It's true, God is love. But you read Quran, Allah said, Wallahu azizun dhuntiqam. Chapter Al Imran, but there are so many other verses also. Allah is severe in punishment. But it doesn't mean that you should fear God like that. It depends on your level. There are people who are on the level of fear. There are people who are on the level of only love. There are people who are on the level of both love and fear. The fear is all about discipline. There must be discipline in what I do. If that we come to the mosque here, if there's no discipline, start this time, close this time, everybody come ask you, please, nobody will ask you to go. Will not be productive. So when it comes to religion, my dear brothers and my dear sisters, this is very, very important because from the question that you've just asked, we need to ask ourselves, is this faith a priority for me in my life or not? I mean, most of you here, you know, me, I wasn't born a Shia. I wasn't. I was born in a very strong Sufi family. Very strong. Non-compromised Sufi family. Making it a priority and having a mentor made me who I am today. We must make our faith priority. And to make it a priority, it depends on your understanding of the faith and what you feel the faith is contributing in your life. But if you don't make it a priority, you'll always do it here and there. And let's try as much as we can to take our understanding of religion from true sources of religion. Because today, I agree, there are so many confusions out there. So many. That's why Amir al-Mu'minin, he divided people into three. First, he said, Alim or Rabbani. You have to be One of the two, not the third one. First one, become a God-fearing scholar. We need to follow and emulate God-fearing scholars. Typical example of God-fearing scholar is Said Sistani. Oh, Said Sistani is God-fearing scholar. So let's make this deen a little bit priority. So when you make it a priority, what do? You will start learning about it more. You will learn. Today, alhamdulillah, some of the parents are here. I see them. You send your children to tuitions after school and you pay good amount of money. Why? Because it's a priority for you. You want them to become something. Some of you are students. Some of you are international students. How much your parents are paying to study? That is a priority. So if you make religion a priority also, the religion will walk to you. But if you don't make it a priority, the religion will stay somewhere. In fact, it's a tradition, Habibi, from Ali. Imam Jafar said that. If you work for Tawfiq, no, not Jumeraat, not Upromok. If you work for Tawfiq means what? Blessings, success. Imam Jafar Sadiq said, the success will walk to you. So make it a priority, and the religion will come to you. But if you don't make it a priority, obviously it will always be the same, Habibi. Yeah.
Going back to, again, we don't have much time, so just a few more questions from here before we have to wrap up.
Then the floor, man. Or they sent you already?
No, so these are from the floor.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, these questions are from the floor. Why did the minor occultation come to an end? What was the need for 2 occultations?
Fantastic.
Was there something about the system of having a na'ib that no longer worked?
That's an excellent question, Habibi. You know, for everything we have a muqaddama. You have an introduction to everything. If you look at the holy prophets, when Allah sent prophet, Makkah, there was no salat the way we are praying. Fasting, there wasn't any fasting. It's a system. Allah only introduced them in Makkah to believing in one God, and that prophet is his messenger and prophet. Slowly but surely, they got to Medina, then Allah started introducing this act of worship. Likewise, the concept of Mahdism is not a joke concept. It's not easy for people just to appreciate it like that. So Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala made it in such a way that you go into minor. Let's see the reaction of people. Let's see whether they will relate to those that we are going to appoint. Even today, I've seen a scholar, I don't want to mention a name, a scholar, Sayyid for that matter, who like I used to revere, like proper mentor, who helped me a lot with tafsir, the understanding of tafsir. We used to be very close. He said to me, I don't believe Imam Zaman is there. It was a shock to me. I don't want to mention where, because then people will put 1 + 1 and then. I said, what? He said, yeah, look at problems in the world. He's not coming. I said, are you sure? You're just joking. He said, no, I'm not joking. I don't believe he's there. But then what do you believe in? He said, well, I don't know what to believe now. So it's not easy. So Imam went into minor occultation. You get in touch with these people. And then after that, I will go into major. And many people ask question, what is the philosophy of this gaiba? Obviously, one of it is to protect Imam for us to be ready. We made dua, Allahumma kulli waliyika al-hujjat ibn al-Hasan. Towards the end, waliyan wa hafidhan, wa qa'idan wa nasira. We're asking Allah to protect that Imam. And so we all have to try our level best to be part and parcel of the, because it is a greatest test that you don't see the Imam, but you are expected to believe in him. That is how Allah will be able to differentiate between the true believers and those who are not true believers.
Ahsantum, Shaykhna. Final words to wrap up, inshallah.
As an uncle wanted to ask a question, man. Allow him, man. Yeah. MashaAllah. Yeah. Ahsan, ahsan. I understand. Classic. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Ahsan. Ahsan, Ahsan, uncle. No problem. No problem. No problem. No problem. No problem. So I mentioned earlier on, almost every single civilization believed that towards the end of the world, someone will come to ensure absolute social justice. I mean, my master's, when I did my master's, my thesis was on Mahdism in the world civilizations. And I looked at more than 50 civilizations, in fact, more. That was my thesis when I did my master's. So, in Bible we have both New and Old Testament, the concept of Mahdism. Hindus have also their own concept of Mahdism, that towards the end of the world, someone will come. That's why I said this is not an Islamic thing. When your non-Muslim friend comes to you, if it's a Christian, it's easy. The Redeemer. Bible uses the word Redeemer. On one point, Bible uses the word the Comforter. So we have it in the Bible. If a Jewish come to you, easy to refer him to his book. Hindus come, I don't know, Vishnu or something, I can't remember those terminologies, yeah? They have it in all civilizations. That this world is not going to be like this. Towards the end, someone will come to ensure. If someone comes to you, say your son or your grandson or your daughter, or no, hypothetically, somebody is not a Muslim at all. That person, or who is not a Christian or Jewish, or he doesn't subscribe to any faith, you have to use logic. This is how I do as an uncle. Say, for example, this person comes to me. Say, you believe Mahdi, Qiyamah? I don't believe in that. The question I ask the person is, do you think there is absolute justice in this world or not? Absolute justice. Most people will tell you there is no absolute justice. Do you think there will be a time when there will be absolute justice in this world? Good number of people will tell you yes. Then you will ask him, how is that going to happen? How is that going to happen? There must be someone who is divine to ensure that it's not your money, it's not your knowledge. The justice you get is what you deserve. Today, how many people, because of financial muscles, instead of them going to jail, prison, they are outside laughing, and those who are not supposed to go to jail, they are going to the jail. So there must be some divine power to ensure that everything is placed where it's supposed to be. And that is the crux of the matter when it comes to the concept of Mahdism. Otherwise, there is no point in life, really. What's the benefit of this life? I don't see benefit of this life if there will be no absolute. I don't know. Are you happy in this one? Let me start from the ladies, then I will recite Messiah. Are you happy? If you are happy 100%, like absolute happiness. Happiness, obviously, this today happy, the next day somebody says something wrong about you. You have sleepless night, or you failed the exams, or you couldn't write what you were. Are you up? If you are absolute happy, raise up your hand. From the ladies, not the gents. Because ladies are more happier than men in life generally. Absolute happy. But relatively, we are happy, isn't it? Anyone who is absolute, like mashallah, Habibi, legitimate desire. No, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, Habibi, I agree, it's a legitimate desire. But when something is absolute means what? Entirely. Entirely. Obviously, your business, the storage, sometimes things don't go well at the storage. Isn't it, uncle? I said, uncle, sometimes the storage, mashallah, is like a bumper harvest. Sometimes down, we know 100%, But so there must be a time when that absolute justice prevails. Otherwise, what's the point? Allah promised, He said, Rabbana atina fi dunya. That hasana must be achieved in this world before we go to akhirah. And so therefore, let's all try, my dear brothers and sisters. Imam, yes, is in Gaiba, but Imam is alive. So it's a state of mind. It's a mindset that, you know what? I believe Imam may be somewhere here next to me. And so let me conduct myself properly. Let me conduct myself properly. Because if I've got this mindset that Imam may be sitting next to me, I cannot do Gaiba or Giba. Because Imam may be listening. I will not gossip. I will not cheat anymore. Yes, Allah is there. But okay, make it closer. Imam is alive. He's not dead. So with that mindset, it helps us to build that relationship. And in conclusion, I've seen people, wallahi, Habibi Monti, ordinary people, who are really inspirations to me also. Their love for Imam al-Zaman is on another level. When I say ordinary people, it's not like they have been to Hausa or anything. These are people who are secularists, really, if you like. Yeah, the faith is so powerful. That, no, Sheikh, I'm not going to do this. Maybe in that meeting, Imam al-Zaman was sitting next to me. I don't want to do. So it's a matter of building that faith, and let's read a lot about Imam al-Zaman. The more you read, inshallah, the more we.
أحسنتم
اقرأ
أحسنتم
المصائب ان شاء الله. اقرأ المصائب. انت اقرأ لا بأس. اقرأ. بسم الله. Conclude. I'm asking Munti to recite Masaib, and he said, La. He's Mullah himself.
صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة يا مظلوم يا غريب كربلاء يا من قتل عطشانا بشط فراتي. On the day of the 10th of Muharram, as the sun is scorching on the plains of Karbala, the Imam stands all alone, nobody left by his side. There is only one young child left in the tent. What can a father do when an infant has not had water for 3 days, except hope that there will be one person who gives the infant water? Abu Abdullah holds Abdullah Ali al-Asghar in his arms. He takes him to the battlefield. He holds up this young child and he says, if I have any sins for which you are holding me to account, then what is the sin of this young child? Some men in the camp of Umar ibn Sa'd start to turn away. They can't see this young child. Some are saying, give him water. But Umar ibn Sa'd has a heart of stone. He turns to Harmala. He says, اقطع كلام الحسين. Cut the speech of Hussein. Harmala, you could have done anything at that point. You could have turned and said, no, this is only a child. Instead, you pulled an arrow from your quiver. You put it in your bow. That child's mother was watching. but you launched the arrow into the neck of Ali al-Asr. How does Hussein take this child back to his mother? How does a mother see her baby? ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. تفضل شيخ. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that after everything we've discussed today, that we are granted the opportunity to gain an increased understanding about the Imam of our time. We are able to understand more our roles and responsibilities when the Imam is absent from us. I'd like you all, please, after everything we've heard today about the Imam, after everything that we now understand about the Imam that maybe we didn't understand previously, please all join me in reciting this dua. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إلهي عظم البلاء وبرح الخفاء وانكشف الغطاء وانقطع الرجاء وضاقت الأرض ومنعت السماء وأنت المستعان وإليك المشتكى وعليك المعول في الشدة والرخاء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد أولي الأمر الذي فرضت علينا طاعتهم وعرفتنا بذلك منزلتهم، ففرج عنا بحقهم فرجا عاجلا قريبا كلمح البصر أو هو أقرب. يا محمد يا علي يا علي يا محمد اكفياني فإنكما كافيان وانصراني فإنكما ناصران. يا مولانا يا صاحب الزمان الغوث 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 أدركني 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 الساعة 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 العجل العجل العجل. يا أرحم الراحمين بحق محمد وآل الطاهرين، اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والعافية والنصر، واجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه وشيعته ومحبيه ومن المستشهدين بين يديه في جملة أولياء. اللهم إن حال بيني وبينه الموت الذي جعلته على عبادك حتما مقضيا فأخرجني من قبري مؤتزرا كفني شاهرا سيفي مجردا قناتي ملبيا دعوة الداعي في الحاضر والبادي. اللهم أرني الطلعة الرشيدة والغرة الحميدة واكحل ناظري بنظرة مني إليه وعجل فرجه وسهل مخرجه. وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة مسبوقة بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
Thank you, Shaykhna and Muntazir, for such an amazing discussion. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Marhuma Jamila O'Neill was buried today in Birmingham. Please can we recite the Surah Fatiha for Marhuma? Bismillah. A moment, can you be seated for announcement? Mu'mineen are humbly requested to donate towards the iftar for this Shahr Ramadan. You can solely sponsor a full iftar or sponsor collectively with family and friends. Please email secretariat@ksmnut.org or see the Treasury desk to sponsor. Alternatively, please donate whatever you can towards the Shahr Ramadan fund via the link that was sent out earlier this evening. We hope to have iftar daily, but this will be subject to donors. We thank you for your support. Fajr Jamaat Salah this weekend will take place at 5:45 a.m., followed by light breakfast on both days. This is open to both gents and ladies. BAYN presents Bridging the Generational Gap. Join us as we delve into one of the largest problems faced by our community, beginning with a short play, followed by a panel discussion with Sayyida Ali Naqwi, ending with dessert and social. The event will take place on Saturday, 24th March 2023, after the main program. Registration is required and details were sent out yesterday via the Jumeraat WhatsApp. We have received a request for dua shifa for Mu'mineen who is very unwell. Please join me in reciting the following ayah 5 times for his shifa and for the shifa of all of those who are unwell. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء 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 أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. There will be an interactive session with the building committee members tonight after Ziyarat Al-Waritha, where they will take you through the plans and be able to answer any questions. Today's successful program has been conducted by BAYN and Hussein's Ark. Inshallah, this provides an opportunity for the youth to gain a great involvement in the community and programs, inshallah. Tonight's majlis has been sponsored for the Isal al-Sawab of Marhuma Jamila O'Neill. Kindly recite the Surah Fatiha for her and all our Marhumeen. Al-Fatiha. Mu'mineen, please stand for ziyarat.
السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله. السلام عليك يا وارث نوح نبي الله. السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله. السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله. السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله. السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا وارث أمير المؤمنين ولي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى. السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء. السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور. أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وأطعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأصلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة، لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مدلهمات ثيابها وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين، وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الهادي المهدي، وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا. وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله أني بكم مؤمن وبإيابكم موقن بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي، وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباءه، السلام عليكم يا أصفياء الله وأوداءه، السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة سيدتي نساء العالمين، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي الولي الزكي الناصح، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله. بأبي أنتم وأمي طبتم، وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم، وفزتم فوزا عظيما، فيا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا ابن سيد الوصيين، السلام عليك يا ابن أول القوم إسلاما، وأقدمهم إيمانا، وأقومهم بدين الله، وأحوطهم على الإسلام. أشهد لقد نصحت لله ولرسوله ولأخيك فنعم الأخ المواسي، فلعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة استحلت منك المحارم وانتحكت حرمة الإسلام، فنعم الصابر المجاهد المحامي الناصر، والأخ الدافع عن أخيه المجيب إلى طاعة ربه الراغب فيما زهد فيه غيره من الثواب الجزيل والثناء الجميل. وألحقك الله بدرجة آبائك في جنات النعيم. السلام عليكم يا شهداء كربلاء جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء معين الضعفاء والفقراء السلطان أبا الحسن مولانا علي بن موسى الرضا كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان خليفة الرحمن إمام الإنس والجان عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجه وظهور الأمر ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.